certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked? Hello, Rita. I do think that worked. Andrea Catania, everybody, welcome to the Heart of Influence. Coming from Citi Field, Game 3, Mets Dodgers. Here we go. Let's go, Mets.
Let's go, Mets.
Rita. Who's here?
First up, from Atlantic Heights, New Jersey, nearly 25 years in industrial and specialty chemicals, quietly built a wealth of expertise in carbon black applications across pharmaceuticals and construction and more. Owner of 2 women-owned businesses dedicated to creating sustainable solutions for future generations. Committed to innovative technologies to ensure environmentally conscious solutions for plastics. Let's welcome to the show, Marisol Davis.
Marisol, welcome to the Heart of Influence. Thanks for being here today. Happy White Wednesday. And Plato, Marisol, the Greek philosopher, said, play a game with me for an hour and we will learn more about each other than if we speak for a year. So we kick this game off with a fun fact. Could be something funny, fun, like, hey, we're at the Mets game at Citi Field parking lot. John Kelly's going to be walking our Doberman in 1 second because we don't have enough chaos in our life. All those beautiful things and amazingness happening. Could be anything like that would make us say, Marisol.
No way.
So Marisol, please, what is your fun fact?
Good afternoon, good evening. My fun fact. So all I could think of, first thing that came to my head is that my name means ocean and sun.
Oh, Marisol, that's so heart-centered and beautiful. I love it. Ocean and sun. And seriously, we love ocean and sun. And
Yes.
heart-centered, let's go. Marisol, ocean and sun is in the building. Heart center. Sometimes Andrea has these like real like finance Wall Street hardcore type. So we start with Ocean and Sun, Andrea, Heart of Influence. We love it. Andrea Catania, great job. Marisol, welcome. Tell everybody who's joining Marisol.
Ocean and sun, 2 things I'm a fan of. And next up, from New York, top-ranked sales and marketing professional specializing in various forms of funding with success in both B2B and B2C consultative sales, excels at building and maintaining strong client relationships through in-person meetings, personalized solutions, and expert financial guidance, works closely with lenders to secure capital while also providing sales training and managing client expectations to ensure successful outcomes. Let's welcome to the show, Dan Gerber.
Well, I'm down here in lovely Boca Raton. Okay, no hurricanes this week. And my little fun fact, since you guys brought it up because the Mets are in the Division Series, is back in 1994 when the Yankees started getting back into the World Series and won one. I happened to be working downtown Wall Street, and we went to go see the parade. And our office was right by where they line up the buses. So I ended up getting on a bus, and I was in the ticker tape parade. There's nothing better than being in the ticker tape parade.
Dan,
Okay.
Congratulations, and I will have one clarification. We have won the National League Division Series. We are now in the National League Championship Series. Dan. Thank you very much. But congratulations on the bus and the ticker tape. Warm welcome, and let's go.
Let's go from
Yeah.
in Puerto Rico in capital market for 25 years, always creating his own outcomes. Originally an analyst and director of research, learned the entire fund process from back end to finish, ran a bridge fund for 10 years, bridging companies public, then banking to help those companies see all the way through. Last year, taking the lead on 7% of all IPOs in the US, building lifelong relationships with growing opportunities and outcomes for everyone he works with. Let's welcome to the show, Joe Michael.
Joe, welcome to Andrew Catania's Heart of Influence. Warm welcome, and please, your fun fact.
Thank you. Yes. So along with Marisol's name, I'm now surrounded by sun and ocean. As a recent transplant to Puerto Rico, I would say I'm a reluctant banker and a fledgling golfer.
Nice. Joe, there's been an influx of folks to Puerto Rico, and I've heard that it has something to do with the beautiful beaches and maybe the tax laws. Joe, am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, I think you prioritized it correctly.
Yes. Awesome job, Joe. Warm welcome from Puerto Rico, Joe is Bella.
Warm welcome from Puerto Rico. And next up from Annapolis, MD, supercomputer industry pioneer, member of a design team for the 70s and a consultant to industry leaders going forward. Founded a company in 77, cultivating complex tech innovations for national security and associations, critical infrastructure expertise in cybersecurity since 78, with NSA, teaching their National Cryptologic University, and co-authored related cybersecurity frameworks publication for the Department of Commerce, NIST. Let's welcome to the show, Robert Bob
Bob, welcome to the Heart of Influence. Warm welcome. Happy White Wednesday from Citi Field, and please, your fun fact.
Fun fact. Well, in my business, dealing with national security and three-letter agencies, there's not too much that's fun. Here's one, though. Most of your laptops, and maybe if you have a big computer at home, you might have a gigabyte or a terabyte of data. NSA has a petabyte of data. The whole world has a zettabyte of data. But the biggest one that's yet to happen, no kudos to Jerry Seinfeld about this, is actually called a yottabyte.
Yottabyte.
That is awesome.
Yottabyte.
I'm only beginning to think about a YouTube video I watched that talked about every different combination of a 52 card deck, and it was some insane dynamic that, like, wrapping around the earth like quadrillions of times, going back in time to the beginning of time, and drips of water being emptied for how long it would take us to count that number. And this is what I am present to with Bob. Yes. So
That's true. That's for any of you who either are or know geeks, the math that describes that is called factorial. So it's 52 times 51 times 50 times 49, et cetera, until you get down to 1.
Yeah.
And that's bigger than the number of stars in the galaxy.
Yeah, Bob, watch that YouTube video, because the contextualization of that factorial dynamic is hysterical. Amazing.
Yes, I saw that. That was
You did?
QI.
Bob's a smart dude.
Bob's a smart dude.
Bob's
I'm
like,
gonna hang out with
I'm
Bob.
not taking an IQ test against Bob.
I'm not.
No, I just plagiarize everyone else's ideas.
There you go. Bob, amazing job. Let's go, Bill.
Let's go. Next up from Middlesex, MA seasoned to go-to-market leader and roots in GE and a passion for scaling Israel startups. Experience spanning global markets and deep U.S. enterprise relations, focusing on infrastructure and software engineering challenges, navigating the cutting edge of infrastructure and AI technology, empowering tech solutions across industries. There's some smart people here.
Yes.
Christopher, Chip, Ernest. Let's welcome Chip. I'm announcing you, Chip.
Absolutely. And should we call you Christopher or Chip? How should we refer?
Chip, please go with Chip. Right. So no, I love technology. I consider myself a futurist and a technologist. So my fun fact, go figure, I live in a log cabin. So yeah, that surprises me too. We moved in last year, and house is made of trees, but live with technology, and that's the contradiction.
Chip, love it. Congratulations. Smart folks, heart-centered folks, save the planet folks. Let's go.
Folks, let's welcome from Cherry Hill. Just kidding. We're gonna welcome from Palmyra, New Jersey, dedicated to helping aspiring school principals and district superintendents pass exams to advance their careers. 20 plus years in education, from teaching to principal, firsthand knowledge of leadership, of the leadership path, having served in schools across and throughout the New Jersey metro area, successfully guiding numerous educators and many exceeding expectations, advancing to leadership roles, including ones who secure $25,000 pay raise after training. Let's welcome to the show, Edward Gordon.
Edward, welcome to the Heart of Influence. Thank you so much for being here. And please, your fun fact.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. A fun fact about me, at one time, I was the principal of 4 schools at the same time.
Wow.
Dude, that is 8,000 people been on the show, Edward. I've definitely never heard of somebody being a principal of more than 1 school, let alone 2, 3, or 4. So thank you for that, Edward, and warm welcome on this one.
If I was still in school, I would learn when he wasn't at my school, and I would only get in trouble when the principal wasn't there.
Yes, you would have been expelled from all 4 schools.
Welcome to the show, Edward. And next up from Washington, D.C.
It's like clown cars.
It's like
people that come out of clown cars.
Yes. Built a distinguished career in real estate while earning his business administration degree, becoming top 1% agent nationwide. Over 21 years in real estate, known for his expert market knowledge, has expanded his portfolio to include real estate development and investment, a passionate member of the Salvadorian Chamber of Commerce, actively promotes local business growth and economic development while supporting clients and communities with integrity and personal care. Let's welcome to the show, Juan.
Juan is in the building. Juan, brother, heart-centered impact player right here. Juan, thank you for everything that you do for this world. And please, Juan, your fun fact.
Thank you so much. So grateful to be here. Fun fact, last year, I won the Biden Presidential Award because I love people, I love giving back, I love philanthropy. So I was honored with that award last year. So,
Juan, that's a huge award for a huge-hearted impact player. Are you ready to have just a little bit of fun today on Andrew's Heart of Influence, Juan?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Juan's ready, Bella.
Juan's ready.
Come on.
Next up, there is a woman that brought all of these people together today, Sean. Yes, there is. I'm going to tell you about her because she is from Nutley, New Jersey. And you know what? She is known as the deal attorney, having led over 200 capital market transactions in the past 25 years, taking companies public in the 7 different ways to do so. 2 years out of law school, built a multi-million-dollar solo practice from her basement as a single mom with 2 young daughters, proudly serving for over a decade on the National Board of Investment Banking Association, helping companies get connected to thousands of members and funding sources, executive producer of the Heart of Influence, general counsel, and chief ecosystem officer at Callagy Law. Let's welcome to the show, Andrea Catania.
Antonio, warm welcome to your Heart of Influence on this Why Wednesday, Andrea. What's your fun fact?
So I don't know if I have 9 lives, but I know I definitely have 4. I rolled 5 times in a Volkswagen. I skied off a cliff in Keelington, Vermont. And I was on a ship that sank right outside of Santorini where 6 people died. And I'm still here.
Oh, Andrea Catania. I did not know about the rollover. That's amazing. I knew a couple of the other ones. Andrea, thank God you're here because the world would definitely miss you a lot and we would miss you even more. So shall we do the things, Andrea?
Let's do the things.
Let's go. By the way, that's a deal attorney.
That is the deal.
200
the
companies
deal
public,
attorney.
7 different ways. So the woman seated to my left, diagnosed with dyslexia in her early childhood, began her career in influence, selling crafts on her parents' front lawn. By the age of 19, she put 3 words together that don't go together: 7 figures, network marketing, and teenager. Yep. That's Bella Rita and only Bella Rita. At 24 years old, she was three-peating like Jordan, except moves, but instead in business brokerage. She was Nevada's #1 business broker as a 24, 25, and 26-year-old. She was the first woman ever to do it and youngest person, male or female, ever to do it. Then she started to train Fortune 500 companies and entrepreneurs. In fact, in 2019, every sales team she worked with, doubled their sales: skier, surfer, scuba diver, adventurer in the most extreme of conditions. And in 2023, this philanthropist that raised $10 million plus with the Unblinded team over the past 2.5 years publicly battled and defeated cancer. Let's welcome to Andrea Catania's Heart of Influence, the woman that put the heart in it, Bella Farita. Bella Farita, please.
Well, I think that my fun fact is the fact that I'm sitting outside of Citi Field right now, and in about an hour, I'm going to be sitting front row behind the Mets dugout for the first game of the postseason NLCS. Do I have that correct?
First home game for
First home, yes.
And the NLCS.
And the NLCS, yes. Game 3, but first home game. And if this guy's nice to me, I might let him come with me.
That would be really nice of you.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. Maybe I could sit in the last row of the upper deck.
Maybe you can sit in the last row of the upper deck.
Thank you. Appreciate that for sure. And shall we do things?
We shall do the things, but I think since you are taking me to the game, I will let you sit front row with me. I'm going to introduce you to all of these fine folks.
That's very kind.
Yes. This is the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. He beats world champions like Becky at body surfing competitions. He's only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016. The only one that's blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. In fact, the state of New Jersey named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. He has spoken on stages for Fortune 10 companies to Fortune 500 companies like Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 18 times. And when he's not busy flying around speaking on stages, he is an incredible philanthropist that raised nearly $10 million for refugees in the Ukraine. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. Sean Callagy.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And here's my quick fun fact. Right now, one of our colleagues, who I love and care about very, very dearly, is heading to the line for Shake Shack at Citi Field. So as soon as we are done, we will be having burgers and shakes and sitting in our seats. And I am super fired up about that because I am so hungry. And that is my fun fact.
I'm jealous.
That is your fun fact.
Yes.
Fun fact.
That is John Kelly.
Yes.
Andrew Catania. Yes. So let's go do the things.
Let's go do the things. How about we kick this off with Mr. Dan Gerber?
Dan.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, Dan? We had some fun. We made some introductions, but here's what we're doing. We're exploring the superpower of Integris influence because we're quite confident that the only human attainable superpower is not how fast you throw a baseball, nor how far you hit it. Because the differentials in those perspectives are like, 5, 8, 10%, or the differentials and maybe even 100% differential. But in influence, we could be talking magnitudes of the infinite. Yeah, magnitudes of the infinite. You don't believe that? I once hired 4 people to sell. The first 3 people booked 0, 0, and 0 meetings in 2 weeks. The 4th person booked 30. Well, I'm not maybe the genius some of these folks are, but I know there's no number you can multiply times 0 to get to 30. Therefore, the differentials in influence are in fact infinite. And Oprah Winfrey, if she was that much taller than the average person in the world, then she is richer. She would actually have commercial airliners hitting her kneecap because she would be 25,000 plus, or I'm sorry, 150,000 feet tall. Facts. Okay, so what we're doing, Dan, is Bella Rita is going to be anybody you want her to be. She could be an ideal client. She could be a charitable fundraising partner. Heck, she could be somebody famous like Warren Buffett or Oprah Winfrey. Anything you'd want. We're not pitching, hooking, closing, but what does it look like when masterful, heart-centered, sophisticated people come together and a yes should actually happen? 3 minutes, doesn't have to be a sale, could be any type of yes, and it could just be a yes, Dan, for a longer conversation. So Dan, please, who would you like Bella to be?
Bella is a buyer of closeout goods.
Oh my God, Bella likes buying stuff.
I do like buying stuff. Hello, this is Bella.
Hi, this is Dan Garber with Qualifier. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty great, Dan. How about yourself?
Good. The reason I'm calling you is I got your name from one of my contacts that says that you buy wholesale goods. What type of wholesale goods do you buy?
I buy jackets, coats, shoes, handbags, all the important things, all the necessities of life.
Great. How do you resell them? I have clients that do the same thing with cosmetics. They buy it for X price and they sell it for 3 times on eBay. How do you do it?
We got a physical location and I have a Shopify store.
Great. How's it going so far for the season?
It's going pretty good. We've got some pretty big goals for the end of the year for the holiday season.
Great. Hey, the reason I was calling is, like I said, at Qualifier, what we are is a direct lender. We get you money quick, whether it's a term loan, line of credit, SBA. And in your case, I deal with a lot of people in your industry. We do a lot of MCAs, which is merchant cash advance, which I buy some of your future revenue at a discount. And basically, it gets the money to you within 72 hours. Argument's sake, somebody comes to you with a whole bunch of shoes right now that you could buy 15 cents on the dollar. That's where I come into play. Okay, I would get you, argument's sake, $250,000 to buy that, and you could sell it, and you would be paying it over a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Does that sound something like you could use?
It definitely sounds like something that we could use. I think I want to find out a little bit more information and kind of how it works, but maybe we can have a little bit longer of a conversation tomorrow.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. How much money are you currently looking for?
$2 million.
Great. How much in current revenues are you doing in your business?
We're doing about 10.
10? Great. 2 million might not be doable in a short term, but I could probably get you in the $1 million to $1.25 million range. Okay, would that help?
That definitely help.
I'm sorry?
That would definitely help. I gotta run now, but let's set up something. Maybe if you can swing by the office tomorrow and we can have a little bit longer of a conversation.
Sure. Let me just text you my information. So this way I could swing by your office tomorrow. We'll talk in person because I think we could get you funded within 72 hours and get the money so you could buy the goods and start selling them on eBay, Amazon, or wherever you sell them, as well as a store.
Sean, in girl math, I think I just made $1.2 million to buy more shoes.
I am not confused that in Bella Rita's Lucille Ball math, I Love Lucy, she has just made that money and there's no need to pay it back.
No, why would I need to do that? Doesn't it just go in my pocket?
You want to get the contract, you got to build up the house, okay? The closet is not big enough.
That's it. Dan, awesome job, brother. Coming back with feedback in a moment from the feedbackers, and Bella, who's going?
We got Marisol.
Marisol, ocean, beach, sun, heart, all of it. Please, Marisol, who would you like Bella to be?
So I would like Bella to be an investor who is looking to invest in sustainable solutions.
Let's go. Okay. Get some cash burning in pockets.
I do. All right. Hello, this is Bella.
Hi, Bella. This is Marisol DeJesus with CB Chemical. I received your contact from a mutual person that we know, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about CB Chemical and why that's a good choice for an investment.
Okay, yeah,
So do you
I
have
think
some time
Andrea
now to
mentioned that
speak?
yeah, I have a couple minutes now. Andrea mentioned that you were going to be calling.
Mhm.
So I wanted to find out the details, the numbers, what you could share with me in a couple of minutes, and then if it makes sense, we'll have a little bit longer of a conversation.
That's great. So CB Chemical is focused on carbon black. And I think the most interesting thing about carbon black, to me, that changed my life, is that if you were to look around you, where you are right now, anybody, and everything that's black that's around you has carbon black in it, and then some. So even though it's in everything, but our carbon black is different. We're the only carbon black that is coming from a manufacturer that's vertical. It's the only vertically produced and completely 100% sustainable, meaning completely circular. So no liquid discharge. We use our own energy, own electricity produced, everything completely circular. And no other producer in the world is like that.
That is fascinating. My curiosity is piqued. There's a lot more information that I'm going to need to know. So
Absolutely.
maybe swing by the office tomorrow and we can have a little bit longer of a conversation. How does that sound?
That would be great. That would be great. I'd love to sit down with you and tell you a little bit more.
All right, let's do it.
Marisol, wonderful work. Dan, wonderful work. And this brings us to the feedbackers.
Feedbackers, otherwise known as judges. Judges, this is the time in the show that we get to give back in the form of feedback. So it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Dan or Marisol, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve, and then a little like next step. Is that next step you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have a longer conversation with Dan or Marisol? I don't think anybody's going to want a root canal today. So maybe that longer conversation is just like maybe a little mocha chocolate at Starbucks for a little bit longer of a conversation. If that's not enough time, you'd went to private room at the Capitol Grill, getting the seafood tower and the nice juicy steak. And of course, dessert, because you want to have the longest meeting possible. Maybe you're having salad and French fries if you're a vegan. But if that's not enough time, you would be willing to rent a private jet, pick up Marisol or Dan, and fly anywhere in the world to have the longest meeting possible, because you can have a pretty long conversation on an international flight. I think we should take an international flight tomorrow. I got lots to talk to you about.
Yes, maybe next week.
Next week. So let's kick it off with Bob. And Bob, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Dan?
Well, my question is, on the first conversation, why was it not asked or volunteered of, well, what would $1.25 million do for you? What could be achieved with that? And put that in the conversation going forward.
Nice, Bob. Excellent. So
So you do a lot with that million and a half.
Yes, a lot of shoes, Bob. A lot of shoes, jackets. Yes, oh, beautiful things. So, Bob, what would the next step be for you? Would you have a cup of coffee? Would you watch YouTube videos on Factorial? Maybe grab a bite to eat. Like, what would you do next?
Well, a coffee meeting after I spend some time researching the markets, so that when I did get a sense of how big you can get in terms of profitability and valuation from the million and a half, I know where it fits in the realm of other people doing similar things. So I would do that kind of
Thank you for that,
homework
Bob.
and then just drink some coffee and hear more about it.
This dude's not impulse buying.
No, he's not impulse buying.
No. Yeah, and
No.
Malcolm Gladwell is the tipping point. There are mavens, connectors, and salespeople. That is not a connector. That is not a salesperson. That is a maven sitting right there.
That is it. That is a maven.
Excellent job, Bob.
100%.
Bill, Rita, where are we going?
Let's go, Joe. Joe, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Marisol?
Sure. It seems like there's a large sense of pride in the fact that there's the source is vertically integrated here. And I don't necessarily understand, when I don't think it was conveyed, what the benefits are of that. And along those same lines, typically when you press on sustainability, cost becomes an issue. So it's important to address upfront whether or not this is sort of cost effective, equal in cost nature, things like that, because sustainability, while it sounds good to be green, I think it puts people on their heels to a certain degree because they expect a premium alongside that.
Of course.
Very nice, Joe. And your what would you do next? Cup of coffee, dinner, lunch, something? Go to the Met game? What's your next step?
Yeah, I think just a follow-up with sort of the relevant bullet points as to why you and why your supplier and what the benefits are.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Joe? Bella.
Let's go with Juan. Juan, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Dan?
Dan, I really thought that, he was trying very hard to convince. I just didn't see concrete, like the other gentleman was saying about what the $1.25 million will do, $1.5 million. But I mean, with the product and the cost, and I just got a little lost.
Cool. So what would the next step be, Juan? Grabbing a little mocha chocolate latte, a bite, like what's happening?
I think the in-person meeting office, like they set it up, that was great. Yeah, that will be the next step, I think, to just get clearance and connect.
Nice.
Deeper.
Yep. Juan, thank you for that. Bill.
Let's go, Principal Edward. How about your 30 seconds of feedback for Marisol?
Yes. So for Marisol, I think she did a good job of painting the picture in reference to the fact about, look around, that there's black carbon, there's carbon black everywhere. Okay. The vast need. I think she did a good job of painting that picture, and also the fact that pointing to the fact that she's like the only producer of this type of product. I think that was really beneficial. I think that one thing that if no one really understands some of the terminology, it can cause some confusion in the conversation, despite the fact that this is a wide need and also that you're the only producer. So I believe that the next step is definitely, there is some interest in the conversation that came out of it. Next step is a longer, deeper conversation explaining deeper of the product and also how it benefits others.
Go Edward.
Go Edward. Let's go Chip. Chip, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Dan?
Oh yeah, great. So clearly Dan knows his pitch, and it's maybe not fair to evaluate a 1-minute call on establishing that human connection with anybody, but I'm sure Dan would do that with the right runway and time. But yeah, listening to the pitch, it's compared to the tech that I'm used to selling, it's wonderfully simple. It's pretty clear actually what it is. It's it's advancing money based on future revenue. So really the question is at what cost? But I'm sure that's what the follow-up call would be for. So anybody understanding what he's offering and having that that need, I think the next step is follow up to go through how he builds the pricing calculations, and that would be an easy follow on for somebody looking for that kind of access to capital.
Let's go. Easy money. That's what I'm hearing.
I like
Chip, great
easy
job.
money.
We're going, Bill.
I like easy money. Next up, we're going Andrea Catania. Your 30 seconds of feedback for Marisol.
So Marisol, I could tell you were passionate about what it is that you're doing. And I echo some of the comments about sometimes vocabulary could be tough. It really depends on the audience and maybe explaining a little bit better. But one real optimization, because I could tell that you care greatly about what you're doing in the world and the value that you're bringing, is always use the allotted time. You had extra time to ask more questions. And that's one thing I'll say that Dan did. He did not waste a second. He saw he had 7 seconds left and he continued the follow-up even to the point of setting something up. But love your heart and thank you. And that's what I got.
Let's go, Andrea Catania. Andrea, you know what time it is. You know it's the time that Bella Verita thinks, since our fine guest jumped on that hot seat. She wants to put me on it, even though we're going to the Mets game. Yes.
Even though we're going to the Mets game. So first of all, this is the time in the show that I get to put co-host on the hot seat in a scenario that he has no idea about. Because Marisol, Dan, maybe you knew your scenarios, maybe you didn't, but I guarantee you he has no idea what's coming because I have been cooking up as the show has been going on. Andrea, you of course get to choose what scenario Sean goes from hello to yes in. It can be any one of my scenarios. You can change them, or you can scratch them all together and come up with one much, much harder. Are you ready to hear what I have for today?
I'm ready.
All right. So option number one is someone could play, we got a lot of AI geniuses, so maybe he would play the role of Chip, going from hello to yes with like an accounting firm that has not adapted the use of AI yet. And he's going to go from hello to yes with them on the value of using AI and how they would want to consider it using some AI in their infrastructures. So that is option number one. Option numero two is someone is going to have a business of goods in tailgating kits. And, you know, they're having a little like trouble with financing. And so Dan is going to play the role, excuse me. Sean is going to play the role of Dan, going from hello to yes with the tailgating consumer goods business on why they would need some financing. Excuse me, I got a little tickle in my throat. Oh my goodness. Oof. And then option number three, Andrea, is I was reading Leonardo DiCaprio has a passion for for sustainable, making the world more sustainable, good fit. He's an environmental activist. And so option number three is Sean would role play Marisol, going from hello to yes with Leonardo DiCaprio for an investment in the black carbon sustainability. So those are the three options I have for you today. Andrea, any of those tickle your fancy, or you got something much harder up your sleeve?
I like number one. I'm hungry for some more AI conversation. So that would be Sean playing Chip. And I think he should role play Joe Giammichael as the fictitious character that you just made up. What do you think of that?
So it's a small accounting firm. They have not adapted AI. Let's go with he's like, 70 years old, about to retire, not interested in, adapting any IA. He's about to retire. And
It can't be about to retire because it's not Integris. He doesn't need it then.
But he wants to sell the firm. So, you're going to convince him why he needs some AI.
Okay.
But he's not convinced yet that he needs it.
Got it. So, and Chip is playing, I'm playing Chip, and Chip is playing who, Andrea?
You're playing Chip.
I know. Yes. So I know I'm playing Chip, and who is Chip playing?
Joe. Oh, it was Joe Giammichael, but it could be Chip too. I mean,
Wait,
Joe
I'm sorry.
Giammichael was going to be the accounting firm, I thought.
Got it. My bad. Okay, so my misunderstanding. So I'm playing Chip, and Joe is playing the head of the accounting firm. Joe, are you up for this?
I'm up for it.
Okay, and how about we call you Mr. Jones?
Sounds good.
Okay. Hey, is Mr. Jones available?
You're speaking with him.
Hi, Mr. Jones. This is Chip. We had a 3-minute conversation scheduled for today. It's a good time for you.
Sure.
Well, thanks. Do you recall that we had this conversation set for today? Is it still a good time?
Yeah, this time works.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And so, Mr. Jones, 2 minutes and 45 seconds of counting. I want your time that you provided to me. I'm grateful for it. What prompted you in the first place to say yes to have this conversation, please?
Well, I think we might be a little bit behind the curve, and we're looking at any and all options to optimize our business, reduce our costs, and potentially look for a potential suitor in the future.
Yeah, excellent. That's exactly what your assistant said. So, may I ask, what's the, she did say you're 7 years old, you're your age, I mean, still a very young man. What's the exit time horizon that you're looking for, and why the exit? I did sign the NDA. All this is confidential. Please, Mr. Jones.
Trying to build something that could be handed off over the next 5 years, just more for estate planning purposes.
Got it. Okay, so thank you. So from that place, can I share a couple quick things that may or not resonate with you? I will take that as an affirmative yes. So, Mr. Jones, what I do is I support people in stepping into the world of AI. Saying AI is like saying oxygen. I mean, it's omnipresent in everything we're doing from every perspective. And there's just such massive amounts of misinformation, underutilization, and imprecision in the space. So very specifically, what I would propose to you is that by adding AI to the mix, you can move from a one-time gross revenues multiple for your accounting firm, and you could have a chance of creating some version of a technology platform through your accounting firm that could actually get you to double-digit multiples. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that, but it's to begin to pave the way. So a lot of folks think that AI is about writing blog articles, maybe making a cool, fun emoji in some video that you're doing. It certainly can do those things, but it can create massive differentials in every facet of your business. We think there's 4 facets of business. One is bring in the work, second, do the work, third is build the work, fourth is collect the work. In each of these areas, AI can boost your accounting firm massively. It can create other vertical aspects that could even help your clients. So I know I've said a lot, but very simply, saying it slowly, AI can create a powerful revenue transition. It will. And by the way, if we don't do this, if you don't do this, then you're going to simply be behind the curve. And that multiple is only going to shrink, not expand. That's one of the things I absolutely believe over the course of the next half a decade. So, Mr. Jones, very simply, I'm proposing a 30-minute conversation where we could break down the numbers of the practice, how you're utilizing technology, if at all, in any way, shape, or form, and then the integration of AI so we can move towards this exit strategy to fit into your estate plan. So, Mr. Jones, 30-minute future conversation on me to unpack what this could actually look like, to show you a few PowerPoints, how certain accounting practices have grown in their multiples by leveraging not only technology, but AI. So, Mr. Jones, how would that resonate with you or not? To have a 30-minute conversation on me to see where AI fits into your future exit.
Sure, I'm certainly open to it, and I'd like to bring our firm into the future.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. Anything else I can answer today, or shall I set that conversation up with your assistant, Joe, who got us together here today?
Let's set it up.
Awesome. Thank you. Have an outstanding day, and we'll speak soon. Out of roll, Joe, how'd I do as Chip having the conversation with Mr. Jones?
It was good. I think, it's important with these to be punchy and to sort of hit the salient points early, especially for something like this. And I'm going to assume that most of the world in the accounting universe right now is looking for these types of things as well. So this has got to be sort of top of mind for most of these, because It's a piece of the business that's probably going to be largely automated in the not so distant future. So I think it's something that's both an opportunity but a real concern for anybody in the space.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Joe. Wonderful job giving feedback and playing Mr. Jones today. And how was your time, Joe, on Andrew Catania's Heart of Influence today?
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. Great job. Let's go with Marisol. Beaches, sun, heart, impact, all the things. And Marisol, thanks for being a participant seat. Thanks for being bringing beautiful energy. And how was your time today on Andrew Catania's Heart of Influence?
It was great. It was very, very good. I enjoyed listening to everybody very much and learned a lot.
Well, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful job for sure. Edward, thanks for being a principal in 4 schools. Thanks for not expelling Bella from today. And
I was going to come up with an spelling situation, but had other ideas instead.
Yes. So Edward, how was your time today on the Heart of Influence?
It was a great time today. I really understand even more about the value of questions to really understand the other person, what they need and desire, and how you're able to provide a solution for them. So thank you for this opportunity today.
Thank you, Edward. Really wonderful job. And Dan, this is a smart dude. A lot of smart dudes here.
Yes.
And please, how was your time today on the Heart of Influence?
Oh, it was fun. This was great. I love the feedback from you guys. And, this was my first time doing something like this, so I was a little nervous, but now I feel very comfortable. And it was great, seeing you guys. Good luck to the Mets tonight. My brother's going to be rooting with you. And if, since you guys are in New York, go to the head of the parade, where they load up the buses. You might be in a ticker tape parade.
Oh, let's go. Ticker tape. Here we come. Belvedere.
I like it. Let's go to the serious one who kicked us in the judge's seat. Phenomenal job. One smart dude, Bob, who's got the same name spelled backwards, says Bob too. But Bob, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
That helped with your dyslexia.
It does help with my dyslexia. Yeah. I can spell.
All right. The bad news is I don't like being the only Dodger surrounded by all these Mets fans. That said,
oh my goodness,
you will not win. However, this was really interesting conversation. The world that I've been in for these 60 odd years is very different. So the same kinds of issues that you brought up have been dealt with very, very differently when you're working on the federal budget. And so this was an eye-opener of similar issues, but a very different way to address them for me.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that for sure. And the only one I share with everybody, we had some fun today for sure. And one of my favorite stories about influence is I have the privilege of having the largest jury verdict in Arizona in the last just about decade. Which I think was surpassed in about the last year. So before the last year, for 10 years, we had that top jury verdict. And the federal judge in that case, Judge Campbell, was the head of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Committee. And he had a court rule, Bob and everyone, against emotion in his courtroom. So this is one serious dude. And in final, after we established 8 figures of punitive damages, in addition to 8 figures of compensatory damages in a business case with people who are doing really horrific things wrong, the judge actually demonstrated massive emotion in the final conclusion of the trial after 3 weeks of completely stoic, never sitting down, standing up like a founding father, because we fundamentally believe this, that all decisions are actually emotionally driven and justified logically. And we have a lot of data on that. And for fun, when people are like, well, I'm really logical, I go, do you have kids? You're emotional because there's no logic to having those creatures. It's all emotionally driven. So Bob, thanks for being here. Really great job. And we truly respect all you've done and your heart and mind. So thank you. Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And let's go, Chip. Chip, thank you for being here. Excellent job in the feedbacker seat, and how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
I appreciate the energy you guys bring. It's highly charged, and that keeps it fun and lively for sure. If I look back on the conversations that you highlighted on this call, it's obviously outreach, sales calls, role playing. This is a large part of what I focus on and do in my own day to day. As we try to grow our company. My takeaways from these types of things, whether it's what you just did or other salespeople I'm also helping, is it's make a connection, clarify what the benefit and the value might be to solve a pain that you hopefully can identify with that person on the call. And you're doing all these things, folks, as I'm not saying it's not happening, but it's a chance to reflect listening to these conversations here now. And to remind oneself that practicing these things is always good, and that's what you guys are all doing today. So it's these are all top of mind things after listening to the walkthroughs that you guys all did. Selling is something that we all have to be comfortable with, and I guess that's part of the theme that you guys are showcasing here today. Don't be shy. Make your outreach, and but make sure you know what your value is and what the next step is. So thanks for showing. Well done.
Amen. And thanks for bringing your mastery here today, Chip. Thank you. Bella.
Yes, thank you. And let's go. Juan, thank you for being here. Your first Heart of Influence. Welcome. And how was your time with us on your first Heart of Influence?
Thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you. I didn't know what to expect, right? But it's fascinating to see different perspectives on how people handle different things. But what I learned today is the importance of being mindful of people's time, feelings, how they're feeling at that moment. I saw how Sean, how he crafted the messages, and he was mindful of the time, what was in his heart, and then went about explaining the value of the product and how that was going to change the business and the value. And at the end, he was like, either you get with this or you're going to be a dinosaur. You're going to disappear. So it's very like knowing your product and how to sell it is key. So very insightful. It was great. Very, very, very good.
Thank you, Juan. And Juan's a rock star.
Juan's a rock star.
Great job, sir.
That takes us to the one and only.
The one and only Andrea Catania. We're right. Final, Andrea. Great job today. This is the deal attorney. Come on, AC. Your final.
I'll be brief. We don't have much time, but all business is built on relationships, and relationships all start, if you think about it, with a shared experience. And this, in my humble opinion, and I think in the opinion of many who have been on one of our 1,400 shows, is the most efficient shared experience to have people connect, get to know each other in a meaningful way, and learn something. So I hope you all had a great time, loved having you. And I know Sean and Bella, if we have a moment, might tell you about some of the things that we're going to offer to you or that are going to come to you in your emails. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, and definitely everybody connect up with each other. A huge added value for sure. And yes, we have a number of different things that are here, but the most valuable initial take will be our group influence book. That book is a textbook of science. I couldn't find it, so I wrote it. 27 years down the road, studying influence in every pocket of the world. So that's our gift to you, number one. We have a webinar on October 22nd, Mastering Men, Women, and Money with the top relationship expert on the planet. I'm going with that, Allison Armstrong. And we have a business acceleration session as well for you guys, that if there's some gap between where you are and where you want to be, which we'll have that gap, we fancy ourselves potentially as the greatest experts on earth on closing that gap. So thank you. On behalf of Bella Verita and myself, as we head into Citi Field, I end every show. We end every show by saying this: I may be physically blind, which I am, but I'm absolutely certain as to the possibilities for acceleration that are in front of all of us. So often they're right here, but Andrea, Bella, at some level, we are all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.
Let's go, Mets. Oral Hershey.